All right, good people. We need to talk 23 is back. And joining me this evening, I go from left to right. I have Donnie.
Hello.
I have Erica.
Yep. All right.
I have Milan.
Hey, how's it going?
And I have Del P.
What is the deal?
So I'll start with you, Donnie. Um, what's your podcast? What's your podcast about?
So, okay, my podcast is the Diamond Lounge, and it is really well. It was meant to be a podcast about the community and trying to find ways to reach out, improve, uplift, bridge those gaps and connections in our community, so to speak. That we have with one another at times. Um, I guess it still is about that, but we're kind of on a hiatus right now, so.
Okay, Erica.
So my podcast is Erica with a C. It varies. It just was started off with like me being this like really mouthy, really opinionated 30-year-old stepping into this. So I just wanted to find a way to navigate things that I feel like I want to know. So it can range from like, maybe have some on home ownership, generational wealth, also things that are more pressing to me depending on what I do in my personal life, and just advice and things that I have. I mean, but I'm single, so I mean, what the hell do I believe? So, yeah.
All right, Milan.
The Black Book is something that you keep in your back pocket to keep you fundamentally inspired, motivated, educated, and in love with your book.
All right, Del P.
I'm only naming one. At this point, it's like four different podcasts I'm a part of, man. Just my personal one is the Man Cave, which is basically inspired from giving men a platform to comfortably, speak from my perspective to sum it up with no woman bashing at all allowed though.
All right. So, like I was telling you all before we came on, so on this episode, I want to talk about how can we get better as a community, and I'll just jump right in here, and you all chime in where you feel when you feel a need to. How can we get better at just that what representation, how others see us?
It's a two-part thing that I'm about to make a statement of. With that, it starts with the support system, meaning whether I agree with what you got going on or not, the support should be there for the most part, just in our culture in general. And then the second part of it is when we do have women in leadership roles or that's not afraid to jump out front, the men need to start backing them up without the extra. Like genuinely black backup women when they're in power with not looking for like it's the ill intent or you're trying to smash or whatever the case may be. Like genuinely have these women back in, help them, especially if we have the kind of leeway and respect that automatically comes with it from man to man, that some men don't really respect black women in power. So we got to get better with that. This is my opinion.
Anybody else?
I feel like it kind of stems from, I feel like we don't deal with the fact that like we went through, what was the book? Post-traumatic slave syndrome. So if you haven't dealt with the trauma or you don't look at a black man or a black woman as what they are, then you're going to constantly look at them as less than. So if I constantly can't trust a man in any role, then everything I do is going to pour over into whatever he's doing. So as far as other people, perceiving us, it's not really anything we can do about it. If a person does not have a conscience, you cannot make them have one or try to understand why they don't like you. They just don't. And the thing about it is, like, I think a lot of times we don't realize that as we were conditioned, so were they. So they were conditioned to think that we were this way or portray us or how we were viewed or, and this isn't like, this was going on way longer than it's not been going on. So we talking about 400 or 500 years, you talking about like 100 years, like it ain't adding up. You want somebody to, accept you. And I think the biggest problem with Black people sometimes to me is always trying to be accepted by other races. I have no desire to be accepted, be wanted. I don't look for them to validate me in any, absolutely no way. And I'm around a lot of Black people who inspire and uplift. And I think we don't focus on that enough. We focus more on the people that are doing real ratchet, real weird, real awkward stuff. Who cares? Every race has weird, awkward people. That's normal. You know what I mean? People are violent. That's normal. It's not a race thing. You know, Black on Black crime is not a thing. So I think when we focus so much on trying to, we have to, I feel like sometimes we have to one up each other. Like, oh, look at her. Like look at him, you know, but it's like, you don't know them, you know, because I have to often like I talk to, you know, people from other countries and I have to often shut them down and let them know, like, when you speaking to people from here, please understand and please respect when you're saying things, you don't know the history of stuff here. You just assume things because what you've seen back home or whatever somebody has told you or what you perceive from one person. So then you kind of like, it's so many different barriers when it comes to like us as a people because the disconnect there is from our homeland. And it's you know, our skin tones are always different colors, so people are constantly, you know, not fitting in certain areas. We don't talk about colorism and also the privilege of certain things. Like I know I'm light skinned, so I know I have privilege. I'm not going to bullshit myself. Sorry here, but
Oh, no, you good.
I just feel like it's important to discuss these things, and I discuss them very openly, you know, with my friends. That I'm not. I think people try to be oblivious to things to me,
Mhm.
and it's way deeper than like, you know, us. Just it's so many layers and it's so many compartments that it's so hard to like. If you focus on one thing, great, that's your thing. I'll focus on this. You focus on that. You know what I mean? But I feel like we're always trying to dib and dab in each other's stuff because everybody wants power, but nobody knows how to do when they have the power, what to do with it, how to, you know, structure or organize. So that's all.
All right, Milana Downey.
Mm,
Okay, go ahead.
no, you're good. You can go ahead.
Well, see, I was gonna say, jump in real quick. Can you repeat the question? I was having sound issues.
No.
So,
Oh, made me forget what the question was.
I'm sorry.
So how
Uh,
can we
I
do
go by
better as people?
Content
Yeah.
tools, and I'm like, I don't think I got it right. Okay, go ahead, Mama.
can you repeat that, Erica?
That was how can we do better as a people?
Oh, okay. Honestly, I feel like y'all know my favorite word, accountability. Accountability and keeping it real simple to me as a people. But first and foremost, accountability. Like I feel like we need to look at our own actions and who we are and where we are in life and what I did to get here and what I can do to get out of here, as opposed to the next person, what someone did to me and all that kind of stuff, you know. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying ignore racism and all that kind of stuff. It's systemic, you know, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying as a people, first and foremost, just personally in life, taking accountability will take you further than trying to point the finger at and, you know, play a woe is me card. That this in personal relationships or just anything, you know what I'm saying? Romantic relationships, all that kind of stuff. Like start with yourself first.
Okay. Milan?
She kind of took the words out of my mouth. Everybody pretty much touched on that pretty well. Like I don't really have much to follow up with. Like that was pretty good.
Okay. So since we have 3 women and then, you know, Dell and I on here, as far as like what Dale said with, you know, with Black men supporting or backing women, what in you three's eyes, what does that look like? Us supporting Black women?
Want you go first?
Go ahead, Donnie. I'll go after you.
So a Black man's support for me looks like you, first of all, seeing me as an individual and seeing who I can be and what I want to be or what I'm telling you, and trying to identify how can you back that up or uplift that with what you have and what you have to bring. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think there's no one rhyme or reason because everyone is different, and what I might need in the form of support is different from what the next person might need in the form of support. So I feel like that's why I say, like, when I say accountability is so big to me, because I'm like, when we're trying to generalize and look at answers as a whole of what, this is what everyone can do, that makes it difficult, because if that's not your strong point, you can't do that. You can't fulfill me in that area. You can't assist me in that area. So why would I try to put that on you? And then I'm getting mad because you can't do it, or you're not doing it adequately enough. You know what I'm saying? So I would say first start off by knowing who I am, and really accepting and saying, okay, well, this is what she needs. That's how you can support me. This is what Donnie needs. So let me go here. And if you don't know, let me ask her.
Okay, Erica or Milan?
Well, I guess I'm not more so stuck on the accountability piece. I don't know why this came to mind, but like the whole the pay scale thing with men and women. Do you think that will ever change when it comes to men typically getting paid more than a woman does?
Well, for me, I'll just say, I think it will change, and I think but it won't change until we start backing and supporting our own women, people, Black, brown people, whatever the case may be. Because if you think about it, like this race, regardless of how you feel about Kamala Harris, it was just so much negativity coming out about her, and a lot of it was coming from us. It wasn't, you had it coming from the other side, but so much of it was us. So in order for that pay scale to go up, I think, we have to back each other, because they're, the other side, or, the other side, they're looking at us and they're like, well, shit, if they're not backing them, backing each other, why the hell why should I look at them in a higher esteem than they're looking at each other?
To answer that question with the pay rate thing, funny thing is it'll never change until we start being honest with our coworkers about being comfortable about letting the next person know what you make. And they put that in there to stop people from knowing what the next person makes. And it shouldn't take, it's almost like, say, the guy that has experience for 5 years comes in and makes more money than the guy that's been with the company 5 years. Doesn't make sense, but it happens. Mm-hmm. But they always try to tell you and teach you, never worry about what your coworker makes. But that's important, because if someone comes in with a degree and went to school for the same thing you're working for, I feel like their pay level should still be the same, because the experience, the person that's been with the company 5 years has more experience than the person that went to college for. Mm-hmm. And they have so many weird rules and restrictions that it's going to take coworkers to start having conversations within the company about what's really going on, instead of just being like, well, I'm not going to worry about, it's almost like the guy that has the attitude of, I did my part, I'm not going to worry about the next person.
Right.
I mean,
that old Will Smith attitude.
Right. You can't, I really think when it comes to the women, man, like I said, again, I'm going to keep pushing this narrative until people get it. If women want certain rights, we need more men to back it up. Other than that, it's just going to keep hitting the wall. It's not going to go nowhere. It's one of those things, we need each other, but we keep carrying on like we don't. Right. But we do. We need each other. We got to go back to how it used to be, where it's like you have the foundation within a household where it's okay to have a Black man and a Black woman in the house. Not how we like, hey, let's take the man out the house. You get more of this if this man isn't around. It's weird, but it's a lot of cycles we have to break to get to that point. But again, with the men being so empowered and having power, you need more Black men support. I'm gonna keep saying
that. Yeah, but also I think even if someone is working at the job and the pay rate is also a big thing. It's always gonna be a thing. But I mean, the thing is that if someone started 7 years before the company started, and someone comes 7 years later, they make more now. You know what I mean? So I don't know how they would even possibly change that, unless every time somebody comes in, they match what they make. And I don't like telling people what I make or at my job, even if they ask, because I mean, personally, I think it's none of your business, because I think even if you make the same thing I make, it's still always going to be something. Because people often think that even when you work at a job, because you make more, because you do this, and it's like you had mentioned, Dale, that the person just shows up. Like, I think it's irritating when somebody working and you work your ass off, and someone who just comes and clocks in and clocks out gets paid close to what you get paid. That's bullshit. You know what I mean? So it's just like you're taking on extra projects and you're starting committees and things like that for your job, and it's like you get paid, you know, the same somebody just showing up and doing the bare minimum. That's annoying. And no matter what their gender is. But as far as being supportive, as far as with women, I feel like you're right. Men do need to back women more, but it's also like this new kind of like whatever the hell it's called, simp. I think it's called simp mentality, where if a brother, if a man backs another man, if a man backs a woman or agrees with
I
her,
hate that word.
he's all of a sudden trying to do this and this. And then I think sometimes like women kind of play into that narrative too, because you know, women start to say it more than men. Women have gotten, I mean, a lot of women have lost a lot of their feminine woes. So when men are being that, they're like, well, I don't need you, because they don't even know what to do with the man when they have, you know what I mean? They probably didn't grow up with father house or whatever the case may be, it doesn't matter. But it's just very, so I think even with support, like Donnie said, and also Mom said, that support is very, it varies from person to person. Like everybody is unique. So you trying to give, or I think like grouping everybody together is so annoying, because it's like, how do we break these barriers if you constantly are thinking every woman is toxic? And I know we joke about this stuff, don't get me wrong. I get it. We make little funny memes and it's cute or whatever, but like really, it's kind of fucked up. Like, you know, because we don't get past that. It's a giggle here and there. And, you know, when a man does this or the man does that, it's like, dang, you know, and but it's also like kind of sad, because if we don't stop laughing at ourselves, nobody gonna take us seriously.
Right.
And that's the part.
Yeah, I mean, and like I said, I don't know, I guess we as a people, we find a way to get through everything, whether you're talking about, slavery, Jim Crow, all that stuff. We find a way to work our way through it. And it seems like nowadays everything is a laughing matter or a joke, whether it's the memes or whatever the case it is. And like I said, that's, not an excuse, but that's like our defense mechanism. Instead of letting people know that it's getting to us or whatever the case is, we'll just flip it and turn it into a joke. Or even, like the N-word. You have some people that get offended by it, but then you have a lot of people that, for whatever reason, take hold of it, and they're proud to say, oh, well, we took the the negative connotation out of it. No, it's still the same goddamn thing.
Like the B word.
Absolutely.
The ER, the A, whatever. Save that shit for the stupid
The
people.
NEGUS, get out of here. Like,
you know what I mean? It's the same goddamn thing, whether ER, A, whatever the hell it is. It's just people, people semantics and all this bullshit. But I think that's how we deal with it, and that's why a lot of the memes, even with the light-skinned men versus dark-skinned men and all that crazy shit. I mean, at times, don't get me wrong, like you said, I think it's funny as hell, some of it, but like I said, that's how we deal with that type of stuff.
I think our blessing is our curse, because I feel like Black people, we kind of are blessed with a lot of resiliency, and like you said, that's why we do turn a lot of things into humor, because that's a coping skill. But again, it's our curse, because it's a coping skill we use to ignore and not actually deal with the issue.
Right.
So we pacify it or we laugh about it, but we haven't really dealt with it, and so it's still there. And then when you try to keep dealing with it, people still want to keep laughing about it. So it's like, it's not a coping skill that we're learning from or we're growing from. It's just one that has kept us complacent, and it becomes a dangerous place to me, because like we're not growing, we're not doing better, we're not progressing where we should be, because we're just lying back on this coping skill of, oh, just make everything funny and laugh about everything.
Yeah, we're accepting minimal gains as actual gains, and it's just like, no, if you give this person $5, you give me $2.50. Well, we look at it and go, well, at least we got $2.50. Fuck that.
Right.
I want
Right.
my shit. I want my $5 the same way they got their $5. Fuck that $2.50.
Yeah, yeah.
If it was 251, it was 250. I want my
Yeah.
penny. Like,
Exactly. And then that's what I mean. We, you know, like I said, because like Donnie said, we're so resilient that, you know, the gift and curse is that, you know, well, at least we got something. No, I don't, you know, and I'm not saying turn it down, because don't get me wrong, you got people that say a whole bunch of stupid shit and go, oh, well, would you turn it down? No, me being honest, fuck, no, I'm not gonna turn it down, but I still want what I should have. You know what I mean? Like you said earlier, we've been there. This person has 5 years experience, but I've been there for 5 years. Yes, you know, the cost of living is different every year, but shit, they shouldn't be 10, 15, $20 an hour or whatever it is higher. You know, their pay shouldn't be that much higher than mine.
For real, because if the cost of living went up, then why hasn't my pay gone up?
right. I never understand why they don't go together.
So it's
Never.
like,
I think they be basing that shit
Still
off
ain't
of two
making it
people
make
in the
sense.
house.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they do. Probably.
They base it off of 2 people living in the house. It's retarded. If you really go look it up, they'll be like, look at when you go look for a house, they'll be like a single family home. Bullshit. Because nah, it's the way you just gotta pay attention to the words, man.
I got a
It's the
question
word
about
part.
everybody. I got a question. So how do you dismantle a system that was already created for us to stay this way? Like we were
take them
called
all
some.
down.
You want to be honest?
Yeah, what do you do? I'm curious.
You go back to getting your own shit.
Yeah.
We go back to getting our own shit. Go back to getting our own banks, getting our own hospitals.
But we
We
have
gotta
our own
start
bank.
somewhere.
We have our own banks.
But
Yeah.
We're not really
But what I
investing.
mean is, what I mean when I say that is like we own our shit. Meaning
Right.
there's no white person backing
Right.
it. It's purely 100% black owned,
Right.
black employees.
Mhm.
Black, like it's black stock owners, like I'm talking about all the way down the line, black chairman. It has to go that way. But in order to get there, again, you got to use Donnie's favorite word, accountability. We got to hold each other accountable. And then it's like when you do see somebody trying to build something, find your place where you can add value and stick to that. Don't really try to move. If you want to move forward with something and it's the idea that you want to go on, then you go that way with it.
Mm.
But if you're gonna attach yourself to something and it's like, oh, I want to see this idea of a person win, it's cool to give a person ideas, but still like understand like your role in a sense. Like I'm trying to think of it. I mean, it's like football, basketball. Everybody has their position,
Mhm.
but there's only one fucking coach.
For your role.
Allow it to be that.
Mm.
And it's hard to get that mindset across. It really is, because again, you see it everywhere, from basketball players to drug dealers. It's like everybody, it's enough money out there to be made. I don't know why people think it's not. It's a shitload of money out there. You just gotta be willing to work together to go get
I
it.
think-
I don't think
And
it's
your
true.
price is your price.
I think the problem really comes in the fact that, for one, I think we would have to understand and accept that for us to come together and really dismantle the thing, it's gonna be some stuff. It's gonna be a struggle. You know, there's gonna be, like, for example, going back to what Dale was saying, but you know, he used the banks. I'll use the hair industry,
What the fuck?
the weave, and all right, this is a freaking billion-dollar company, right? And it's the reason why it's so rich is off of Black women,
Mhm.
but Black women aren't making. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are some that are making their money, but for the most part, the people profiting off of us are the other races. And I get why, because when a Black person gets into the business, it's a lot of racism against, or I guess prejudice against
Yeah.
Black people globally, internationally, not just white people. So when Black people get into this business and it's like, okay, let me go get the hair from those suppliers so that I can sell it, they ain't trying to give you the same price or cut you the same deals that they're gonna cut the Asians or the,
Yeah, but why
whatever.
would they?
So when they cut it to them, they got a better deal, so now they can sell it for a cheaper price. And so as a Black woman consumer, you have to either make that decision of, okay, do I want to pay more to just all out make sure I support Black, or do I want to take the deal and go and pay with the other person? Like, you got to choose your suffrage. Are you going to suffer in your pockets for now so that we can come up later, or and do that collectively as a whole, or are we going to just keep staying in this cycle of talking about how can I do it when we know the answer? It's not an easy one.
And I definitely agree with you said. Like, if an Asian person is selling it more to outside people, absolutely good for them. We are so giving to people, and we're always trying to be in somebody's mess. Like this Asian, I'm not about to get into it, but and even also like we can counsel people so much. Like, why are we always counseling somebody? Like that guy who killed what's that guy, Mike Brown? They raised like I think like $3,300,000 in like 3 days. They didn't counsel him.
Nope.
And they don't counsel each other. Even, I mean, we talking about white men who do some wild stuff. What's the guy who played 2.5 Men? Then he like beat his wife, and then he wasn't of some other shit he was messing with. Did he get counseled?
Oh, you talking about Charlie Sheen?
Yeah, he didn't get counseled because they don't have that mindset.
That nigga was going around giving women diseases.
Right, and that's cool.
That's illegal.
But did his culture counsel him?
No,
they did.
Yeah, we get these men, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying rely on them, but we will get these people, and even if a man is married to a Black woman, he's the most hated of all. I mean, how much hate and envy and jealousy is Jay-Z and Beyonce? Like, I'm just, God damn it, let her just be. Like, it's so much envy there, and it's like for what?
Because it's set up that way.
But it's not set up that way. It's a choice.
As long as I envy you, I'll never be successful myself.
But
think about it. If somebody's always worried about the next person, you never focus on what you're supposed to be doing.
But that's why we would never move forward like we're supposed to. Because like you said earlier, if you think about it in terms of basketball or any other sport or whatever analogy you want to use, it's too many people want to play other people's roles. Damn it, if you on the team, you the point guard, you play that fucking position. I don't need my point guard in the paint with Shaq or Dwight Howard and all them.
Why are you getting rebounds?
Russell Westbrook. Yeah, I mean, he's an anomaly. But I don't need my point guard in the paint that often. Now, if you get if you get it every once in a while, that's different. But we have to understand our lanes and our roles and everything. And I'll say this is just like with our podcast, we all bring different things to to this podcast game. I mean, if I tried to jump into Milan's lane and do what she does, I wouldn't survive there. In Erica's lane, I wouldn't survive there. In Donnie's lane, no. I mean, I was telling Donnie before we came on that, I didn't know exactly what the hell I was doing when I started, but I just, slowly found my role. I thought I was doing something different, like trying to reach out to kids and all this other shit. Then come to find out that, doing what I do now, talking about, things going on in society, having that uncomfortable conversation is what works best for me.
Right.
You know what I mean? But like I said, in order for us to move forward, we all have to understand our lane and do what the hell we got to do.
And not be mad about being in the lane. Like, I don't understand why people get so mad about that whole phrase "stay in your lane." Like, dude, it's
that's legit. What it's there for.
Yeah, like if you were able to maneuver out of your lane, then do so. But that means you elevate or you switch up, you change in some kind of way so that you can adjust now to the new lane. If you can't do that, then go back to your lane and stay where you were until you are ready to adjust. Like, I don't understand why that's such a don't. Still, that's why people get so mad about that.
I think they feel limited. Maybe I think they think of when they think of lane, they think of this limitation they have. But you weren't even going to go over there anyway and do it. You just
you're only limited by yourself. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you feel limited right here, then elevate. Look, that's why, like I said, my word is accountability. Look inside yourself. Say, how do I need to change and grow and adjust? When I'm driving my car in my lane, if I want to get over to the other lane, I got to speed up or something. I got to make sure I'm checking both sides and that it's a good spot for me to speed up. And then I hop over there. Like I adjust in some kind of way to get over and fit in that lane. And then if I want to stay in that lane, I either gotta stay going that speed limit or I gotta let them get mad at me. I gotta pick or choose. Am I gonna either accept them getting mad at me because I ain't going fast enough, or am I gonna go back to my lane because I don't want to go fast enough? Like it's look at you and fix that and focus on that. And if you whatever your lane is, stay there. If that's where you're comfortable, that's where you want to be, stay there. If you don't want to adjust and grow.
But people like that aren't going to be comfortable anywhere because they only want to get into this other lane because somebody told them stay in their lane, or or
There's no cue for stupidity.
But I think it stems from like, stay in a child's place. I think that's the upgraded version of it for adults.
Mhm.
Like when you're told 100 times a child, like stay in a child's place, then when you become an adult, somebody telling you stay in your lane, you feel more restricted. I think it all connects to me because I know when I hear it, that's what I used to think. Like I'm a grown and
Erica be like, "Who the fuck you talking to?"
you already know and shut the
Hey,
fuck
well,
up.
no, I want to
Okay.
bring something back that Donnie said about correct me if I'm wrong because I can't remember how you said it word for word. It was like the discounted prices with the other race. What was it that you said?
There.
Was that right?
Yeah, that's what
So
she's talking about.
let me ask y'all this. Is it really a discount if you never knew what the actual price was?
Nope.
No.
So now
Right.
listen to this, right? Like back to what you're saying. The same guy, let's use merch. Everyone has merch for a podcast, right? What's the difference between Erica's merch and Donnie's merch, other than what's on the merchandise, right?
Mhm.
But we'll go and go pay the Arabian or the Asian to go make our merch instead of being like, "Hey, Eric, I seen that you got these mugs or these shirts and shit. Where'd you get them from?" Like that's how I be doing things. Like, hey, I see. Even if I don't purchase it, I'm still like, hey, I know somebody that got this or whatever. And I said this a while back, man. I don't think this episode dropped yet, but this off of one of the Bet the House podcasts we did, and I explained that we be so worried about ads that if every podcaster you knew invested $20 into each other, we'll start making a lot of noise.
Mhm.
Honestly, if everybody invested, I put a 20 here, there, the 20 is gonna forever rotate. But most people won't look at it like that. But if it's five of us in this room, if I gave four of y'all $20 and then y'all turn around and gave four people, and it just keeps generating over and over, eventually it'll become more because you got 6 people that just gave you $20. Damn, I can give $40 more to Erica because I gave her 20 last time.
Mhm.
But it's one of them things like you just got to get the right people, man. Because again, you can't. Stupidity is a cure that is you can't cure it. You
Yeah,
just
but
can't.
But
I also think she meant in the sense of like if you want to go wholesale, like wholesale is probably more popular now for everybody because there's people who are
Right.
doing it. Before you might for the hair industry, I don't know, there's a mark, I'm not really sure. But if you are a hairstylist and you're trying to have these bundles or whatever for the girls, the summer is coming up, you're trying to have all these cute styles or whatever, and you go to someone and you have to pay these outrageous price. And if she goes down the street to the Asian store, they're going to have it cheaper because the same person who sold it to them sold it to them cheaper. Therefore, her prices has to be higher for her to make a profit.
Yeah.
So we're always going to pay more because we don't have the distribution out of the country or that's coming in on a regular basis to supply us to set a rate for us. Some of us do.
But I was saying that because I was saying the reason why we would initially have to take that hurt and by paying that more, is because until we could dry up the other person's market and to where it's not lucrative, like if ain't nobody going over here, there or the other to get their hair, but they're only going and shopping black, and we are the bulk of the market, they're either the people who are selling out are going to say, okay, well, you know what, because they still want their money. But if they're not getting it from the other people because they're not selling anymore because black dollars aren't going there, then they got to say, okay, how else do we get our money? Oh, I know, I got to focus it back on giving the black person the deal now and getting their business. I got to work for their business now as opposed to the other way around of trying to make them jump through hoops to, work for my business. And that's why I said it would start off as a struggle. It would start off as either people saying, hey, you know, I'm either going to be natural or I'm not, you know, not wear weave, or I'm only going to spend top dollar here with this Black lady that I know gets her stuff from a Black person. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like, it would have to be like that. But until we get to that place of saying we're going to do this collectively as a whole, sisters, it's going to be either natural or Black. That's that divide of, oh, I'm not just a struggle. I'm just to get my deals on my bundles. You know, I'm just to get it cheaper over here is what's gonna always keep us down. And I'm saying, I use that as an example because I'm sitting here with the wig on. But if you apply that in other areas, you know, like she was when they use the bank, if you apply that in other areas, it's the same thing. Banks run off of investing dollars from their consumers. They invest your money and they get it back. So if Black banks can't thrive because they're not getting a lot of dollars because their consumers is not there, that's what's hurting us. But it takes you taking a chance as a Black person, say, okay, I might lose some perks, possibly. I might not get the same benefits as when I go with this big white bank, you know, that I get if I go here. If enough of us don't, or not enough, more of us don't have that mindset of I'm gonna take that loss to get them where they need to be, and so I can get this Black dollar up, then that's where we're always going to be. That's why I said it's not us getting out of this means we have to be willing to take a hit.
But you know where I run into the problem, and I don't know if Dale can hear us or not, but I want to get everybody's opinion on this. My issue with, and I hate to say this because you know somebody's gonna get upset by it, but they get over it. But my issue with supporting some Black businesses. I'm not talking about all Black owned businesses. But my thing, my issue is I'll give you two examples. There's a Black water company. They do the same thing that Poland Springs and Deer Park and all of them do. But what they did is they sell a gallon of water, $3.99. Now Deer Park is $1. And I'm like, it's just water. I'm sorry. I want to support, but I'm not spending $3.99 on no damn gallon of water when I can get it for $1. Then the second one.
But that's why it goes back.
Huh? I didn't hear you.
No, I was gonna say it goes back to the production. Like they might be doing the same things, but does their cost to do it cost more?
And because my thing is, if it's like $2, okay, cool. I give you the $2.50, but you're talking $4 for a gallon of water. I'm not that thirsty. I'm sorry.
I don't think it's about thirst. It's about, you know,
go out that good
rotation. I mean, because there are whole groups. I mean, well, there's a group, I think We Buy Black, who has all of the, you know,
I follow
the
that.
deodorant, all this other stuff. So it's possible to switch Black. But like you said, it is a lot cheaper to maybe go to Walmart and just buy a stick of deodorant or a stick of, you know, these prices that, but I think also, I don't know, it's kind of, because you don't want to pay like $7 for a pack of toothbrushes when you know you can just go buy one for like usage, like, so it is hard because you know, if you're a person that manages your money also, and you got bills, so I mean, you want to help, but it's like,
how can I? And
that's why they say money makes the world go round. The money, and that's like literally our downfall. It is what it is, because we were set up at a disadvantage, and now you're trying to play catch up with the money that we don't have.
Or the knowledge we don't have.
right.
Yeah, that's what.
For me, I don't really understand. I guess the confusion part. Like, so I'm 27, right? I'm probably the youngest person here, and I'm quite sure no one was ever taught anything about credit or the fundamentals of credit or financially becoming financially independent, period. So you guys talk about like building a Black system, but I guess with me being the age, I don't see it, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't see it being as successful as it can be now than it would. I just don't see a sole Black business being successful now. without a different ethnicity coming into play. I feel like you have to have different varieties in order for a business to be successful. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong,
But
but
that's in business in general. I don't think that's a black thing. I think you definitely have to weigh your pros and cons, because if you're trying to do, I don't know, money in what business in Tokyo, you black, you're not gonna hit that market, but maybe the market is, kind of
so
saturated as it is here.
to answer your question, I think Jay-Z is a perfect example of how to play the game.
But only
What I
enough
mean
money.
by that, if you
Jay-Z?
pay attention to like what he's doing and when he does certain things and the way
Like
he
what?
sells
He don't bring
businesses.
other races in.
No, he does. But he only does it when it's time to sell. When
right.
you think about
So
it.
Tidal, what do we do there?
No, Tidal was originally black.
No, I'm just trying to understand it. That's all.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. I'm getting it.
Right.
I'm going back to what she was saying, because she was like, she doesn't see it. And
Right,
I'm
right.
like, you're right, because a person like Jay-Z figured it out. Where it's like, what she's saying is, in a way, you can't. We want it to be that way. But again, he's a perfect example of, I know I need white people at some point.
Mhm.
I know I'm gonna need them, right? When large money is exchanged, you
Yeah.
better put a white person in that room.
For sure.
I mean,
well,
they
I'm
didn't
just
have the money
white.
before his rap career, so somebody had to fund him. And Jewish people isn't all heavy
Yeah.
in the rap,
Yeah.
so
Right.
he was always being funded by, but he just used his money wisely and learned from them. And that's what I'm saying. I think a lot of people don't realize, like, if someone has an advantage over you, no matter what their race is, you have to learn from them.
Mhm.
And you ain't got to do it in their face. You can do it behind their back. But,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you don't even have to do it behind their back. Fuck them if they get upset because you're dealing with the other race.
Well,
or
if you need your
other race.
job, I don't know if you can fuck them. If you
No. I'm saying that.
Right.
No. I was.
But it's
Yeah,
like,
I like
but even with that, back to like what Erica said a while back, though. Again, I'm gonna use the Jay-Z example. Like, it was a huge uproar in our culture when Jay-Z decided to get involved into the NFL. Right? It was weird backlash, and I'm sitting back like, hey, we got one black person in here, bro. That's a start. Like, dude. It ain't
Yeah,
been a
that's
black
a-
person in this thing for 50 years, man. Like, can we get one in there? All right, we can. He not gonna make the largest noise, but he's still making a stamp of saying,
Yeah.
I did it, so somebody else can do it too. Like, that's where people gotta start pushing the narrative of that one black person got in there, which means it's only a matter of time.
Before it's
This
enough.
is how it always been for us. It's only a matter of time for sports, to being an agent, to being lawyers. You let that one black person in there, the rest of us gonna start figuring it out.
And I
Because
think
we're gonna see that it's possible.
And I think also something you mentioned that was very true about Jay-Z is because what people do is, like, he's in, right? Like you said, he did get backlash for a lot of things that he does. But instead of them being like, okay, he's a shareholder, he's, whatever he's doing to contribute to get money from it, they will be like, oh no, we need to start our own thing. Well, you started with the capital you have, and then you do it, but they put so much pressure on celebrities to do things they can do themselves. Like, if you want to start a league. The NFL or NBA, they might have
Yes.
been,
They
it is
tried
what
that.
it is.
They tried to start a
But they
new league.
did.
They don't,
NFL shut
that's
this
never
shit
that's
down.
never going to be possible in the world. We know that. But if you started right now, maybe like in 100 years, 200, 3 at max, you possibly.
Hey man, I'm gonna tell you something. That NFL is the new slavery. Good luck.
Yeah,
Good fucking luck. I'm serious. They tried it and they was like, "Hey, let's do the XFL." They let them boys eat for like 6 months,
Boys.
and
they like, no.
that's enough.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, got enough. So even with black ownership, it throws me off, right? Even with these black celebrities, and these guys be doing the weirdest shit. Like, I seen Dwayne Wade. Basically, I don't know if he bought a share of Utah or he just became a part of it. It threw me completely off on, okay, why did he go to Utah out of all places? Like, I want to know. I'm that person. Like, something has to be going on for him to go to Utah.
It's marketing. It's
Yeah.
something to do with marketing. They want to get rid of this, this perception or this stigma that, it's lily white and all this other stuff. So they figure, you know what, if we bring him in, just like somebody said earlier, there's no such thing as 100% black, white, whatever. You're gonna
Right.
bring that one person from from another race in because you need it. Like you said, if we go over to Tokyo, we trying to do business in Tokyo. We gotta snatch up Jet Li, Jackie Chan, whoever, and
Right.
you gotta bring them with you to the table. You know what I mean? I can't go into that would be like me trying to talk about, the WNBA. They would look at me like I'm crazy if I don't have a woman on my side or on my team
Mhm.
to
I'm
talk
glad
about
you
it.
brought that up. I got a question. Do you feel like it's the NBA's fault the WNBA is not up there?
Hell no. And I love the WNBA and women's
I'm
college
biased.
basketball.
The reason why I say that, it goes back to why aren't there more NBA players? It's just, even if it's up front, go support these women that hoop.
Yeah,
Right.
Because they don't
but
get paid
but
a
you have
lot
to
of
understand,
dollars.
do women want to watch? See,
Absolutely.
men will line up and bring their girlfriends to the NBA game. Like women, I don't know any women that bring men to WNBA games. So I mean, are women even really that into sport? If you take a real study,
But the thing is the push. The thing, you want to push that.
yeah, but they have to make
This
some
what I
money
mean on
for it
certain
to
things
be
that need
pushed.
to be
That's anything
changed.
you do.
Like I don't know how much WNBA get played. I know they don't get televised much,
Yeah.
and that's a huge problem.
ESPN 5. That's what it
Right. That's what I mean by it goes back to, I think Donnie, I want to say Donnie said it earlier, but I could be wrong. It might have been you, Erica. But either way, it goes back to me saying, hey, you still need that black male support, man.
Mm.
Regardless, like you should, as the NBA players, y'all still should be like, hey man, whether people do, everybody don't watch soccer. Soccer is on
But
ESPN.
no, everybody does
It's
not
a
watch
part of the
soccer
fucking
here.
World
Yeah,
class. What is
true.
the
Yeah,
fucking
But soccer
Olympics?
is a very popular.
Yeah, but what I'm
Okay.
why is the WNBA so low? There's
Okay, so
not
I
enough male
think
support.
Dale, like, are you saying it needs the support of like from a man, the NBA players to say, hey,
Yeah, like
watch this. I'm throwing a watch party for the finals
Right.
for the WNBA. I'm doing
'cause
like
they'll
they need that kind of voice
right,
and
they'll
back.
do that for each other. Like if say LeBron doesn't make it to the championship, but his buddy Dwayne Wade made it. He's gonna do like a watch party, or he's gonna throw like a fucking after party. It's something that's attaching to gravitate.
So let me
them
ask you a
over
question, Dale. Who is the female version of LeBron?
there. I don't watch that. shit.
Right,
I don't
exactly.
know.
You
Elaine,
don't
no,
watch
I
it
can
because men
tell you,
don't
I
watch.
watch.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Women are not
it
into
was-
sports enough to
No, no, no.
watch it.
When
But-
WNBA came about for us in Houston, the comments took off.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were big here.
We took off, and it was real big in here. You know what the
And the
Rockets
comment
did?
is a
But y'all
female
had
team.
Cheryl
The
Swoop.
Rockets,
I don't even
the
watch sports at all.
Rockets, fuck them. The Rockets fucked them and turned around and said, "Man, these women can't come in here and win all these championships, and we ain't winning shit."
Oh,
They
wow.
they sold the fucking team. We don't have the comments no more.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, they won
Oh,
4
that's crazy.
championships in a row, and then all of a sudden the team disappears.
No,
I do think there is some.
no, they
some
died. They
jealousy,
started. All the players left.
because I've seen them girls
Tina
play. They-
Thompson and all of them. Yeah.
Yeah,
Again,
girls. All the players left. They
but
all
you
the
got
players.
but you got Charlotte. Charlotte has a basketball team, dude.
I mean, we should still have one. I get what you're saying.
That's
We
what I'm
should-
saying. Like
they didn't. We didn't. They sold that team after we became a losing team, and there wasn't any profit anymore because we, like you said, the Houston Comets was a winning team. Like they were major here in Houston because of the fact that they won all the first championships.
yeah, first 4.
Yeah, so it was like it was huge. But then like I said, all of their major players, Cheryl, Cynthia, they all left. They all retired, whatever. And so once we started losing our players, we
Hey,
started
man.
losing.
The Oilers sucked for like 20 fucking years, and we kept them.
But it's football. Football.
I don't give a shit, man.
Trying to
That's
compare
yeah,
a male-dominated
but that's my
sport to a
point. That's
female
my
Football is
sport.
king.
I mean, women's basketball overseas is huge, but
Yeah.
Right.
not here. No, it's not. It's not big. You guys are right.
But
It's
that's
not.
because America is like, America
Mhm.
ain't.
But here in the
They are male-dominated.
no, you're right, Dale. But here in
You are.
the United States, the bad thing is that I don't think that and from top down, I don't know who's the owner. I don't know if it's Adam Silver or whoever at the top of the WNBA, or if they have a totally different commissioner or not. but they don't want the WNBA to succeed either, because when LeBron put together a team to buy, what is it, the Atlanta Fever or whatever their team name is?
Indiana Fever.
No, what's Atlanta's team? The Dream?
Yeah, the Dream.
Atlanta Dream.
Mhm.
When they were trying to, when they got rid of the owner, the Trump lady, LeBron put together a team, a group to buy the Atlanta Dream, and they denied LeBron. Now, if you want good exposure, why the hell wouldn't you bring in a LeBron?
Playing his team.
Because you got like Dale said, Charlotte has a team. That team has been ass forever. They're only still relevant because Michael Jordan is the owner. Outside of that, they wouldn't, nobody would go see them play. Now they're doing a little bit now because they have LaMelo, but like I said, if LeBron wants to buy a WNBA team, that is for sale. Why wouldn't you give it to him? That's great publicity.
Because that kid is a fucking problem. That's why.
LeBron James.
Yeah.
He's a problem for them.
I'm aware.
Because the dude told them, look, if y'all don't do something, I'm going to quit the NBA. The NBA enforced it like 50 goddamn rules after that. They're like, hey, man, what'd he say? Hey, you know what? You cannot talk to LeBron if he on the court. It's all kind of stipulations in the NBA now.
That's my thing. He used his leverage of how he can support and get what he wants. So that's what I'm saying. That's why I say, when you talk about how can a man, baby, how can you tell me how you can support me? Look at what I need. Look at what I need, look at what we need to happen. And how can you aid in that? What tools, what gifts, whatever you got going on that you can say, hey, I got you.
But
I can break shop most here.
But I have a question for you all then too, because I do hear this a lot. And like I said, I do follow women's college basketball and the WNBA. But then you also have a lot of women that feel like, all right, I don't need LeBron's help and all this other shit. Knowing that they really do, you have some women that go, oh, we don't want it because they're only going to pay attention because of LeBron. What the hell is the issue with that? Why
is the spotlight there or not?
Yeah, that's free marketing.
Yeah, but I understand it in a way. Like, I mean, nobody wants to be always connected to somebody else. Like, if you have math skills and you're great at what you do and your team is winning all these championships, but the only thing getting you these open doors is a person who's not even a woman on top of that, it's kind of like, girls are looking at them. I mean,
but at the same time, an open door is an open door, and if it's needed, it's needed. And so, like, I feel like we a lot of times just shoot ourselves in the foot because we don't want to say, this person helped me. I want to be able to say I did it on my own.
And you're right, but I mean, I'm just saying from
a transparency point. Say, hey, I got assistance here. Like, even with Black people, okay, Black people in America, especially, they realize, we might have dollars and all that kind of stuff because we spend more than most of the people. Yep. But at the same time, we get things happen for us and really move for us when we accept and bring in that help from other races. It just is what it is. All civil rights movement, everything happened. I used to get so upset about the civil rights movement. I'm like, y'all want to try to make it all about like, it was Dr. Martin Luther King and all that kind of stuff. But truthfully, they started making laws and making things happen because some white people got shot and killed. Mm-hmm. And then when they got shot and killed, it hit home. It was like, okay, we gotta do something because our people now are dying and this ain't right.
Yeah, that's all. I tell people that all the time when it comes to lawmaking. That shit is to protect white people. Hey, you can't shoot me. Fuck that. Y'all been shooting us for 35 years. Then when we be like, all right, we got gun license. Hey, you can't carry a gun license without this, or if you're feeling, all these rules come into play because they don't want nobody to take revenge on their ass.
So with you knowing that, to me, you shoot yourself in the foot by saying, I don't want white people to help me, make this happen though. I want to say it was all done. These laws changed.
Nah, fuck that. I know I need a white motherfucker to make it.
The small-mindedness.
Yeah.
I know damn well I need a white person to make it. I'm not tripping. Bitch, pay me. I don't care. I got a family.
I want y'all on the front line. That's how I'm like, even with this, Asian, hey, I'm like, okay.
That is
but remember this, were y'all on the front line with us though when we were going through it? I don't understand how all of a sudden
some of them were.
Yes, some of them
Some
were,
of 'em
but I
was.
don't
We're
understand
looking at the
how, I
individual
don't understand how it became the Black person's, like, it was some post that they said, like, what are Black people gonna do, how, to
Yeah.
support Asians? Like, how are Black? And I was like, wait a minute, hold on. How did this become on?
Because we always in somebody's sub. It's like the feminine movement. That was
Right.
a white girl thing.
The
And all of
best
a
thing
sudden
I
we're
can tell
feminine.
y'all, man, with the Asian
But that,
law, this is white people letting Black people know we will never give a shit about y'all.
That's
And we're
my
gonna keep
point.
showing you that we don't give a shit about y'all. It's
That's
gonna
what
You
keep
still
happening.
gotta move around. Like, even I feel like the most hated Black woman to me is Oprah. And I feel like
Oh,
Oprah
man.
had to act this way.
I'm not in.
Had to act. Wait a minute. Give me a second. Oh Lord, here we go.
No, I'm not against you. She
Here we
is
go. Can I
She
get a
is.
minute? Can I get a minute? I
Yes,
want to just say the
ma'am.
most hated Black woman. Lord have mercy.
Yeah, go ahead.
She had
pardon
to
me.
step. She had okay. If you think Oprah wasn't being the way that she was, she would have all these doors open for her. You see what I'm saying? She had to move in this area, this Black space in these white spaces, and she had to do it. Now she's starting to make more things that are for the culture. I don't think she ever lost her way. I think it was, you can't just be so open. Like, okay, let me ask a question. If every Black person was always going to speak on issues or, always everything we agree on, everything else, where is the fun set aside? So when they lose their job, lose lose their credibility, who or what do we have set up for them when we make them take all this accountability that we're supposed to have for each other? So once a cop who's a Black cop take accountability, speak out about it, cool, he get fired. All these talk shows, everybody who doesn't speak on everything we think of or we agree upon. What do we have set up for them when they speak out for us? What do we have for them?
To answer that, I think at that point, as an individual, because I'm with you on that, Erica, 100%. But as an individual, if I know the risk that I'm about to take, I need to make sure I take the steps.
See, but that's what I'm saying. See, that's what I'm saying. And if you don't
It
take
has
the
to be
risk,
that
you decide
way.
to disagree to keep that position because you're going to open more doors for you. You look like a coon. That's what I'm saying. It's a lose-lose when you get to higher points in the position.
Yeah.
That doesn't say people, I get it. People don't like Oprah. I like Oprah because I feel like she acted this role for a certain amount of time and now she's using her platform for what she needs to use it for. You can't fuck with Oprah.
No, you can't.
Come on,
like
now. She got a whole
Oprah.
like, come on, let's be real here. She got a
I don't
whole
know why
magazine.
people
Like,
hate on
come
Oprah.
on, seriously. Oprah is everybody. Ain't nobody ever gonna mention Oprah name because they don't know who she
so
is.
counteract that with Tyler Perry. How do you feel about Tyler Perry?
Say it again.
How do you feel about Tyler Perry then?
I couldn't. Let me start this.
Yeah. Go ahead, because I don't want to do too much.
Let me
I
start
can't
this
fade
one.
it.
I will say this, and I'll be very honest. And like I said, Milan, out of everybody here, you know me the best. I will say this: at one point I could not stand Tyler Perry, and I'm just being 100% honest. I could not stand him at one point. It was just like, man, this dude, running around, putting his dress on, and it had nothing to do necessarily with the dress. It's just like, why can't he do something? If he's shown his true talent, why can't he do it without putting on the dress? And then his movies, it was just like, okay, I don't want to see this shit all the time. And then I just got to put this out there. His favorite movie to me
Why'd I get
is
married?
Daddy's Little
Man, yeah, right. Daddy Little Girl, yeah.
That's
the only movie we got, Ringo.
Color Girls only for me, but yeah.
That's the only movie we have. That's it.
Color Girls only. You got
Other than that, we suck.
Why did I get married?
No. Why Did I Get Married was good, but for Color Girls
really
was good too. That was really good. But Daddy's Little Girls is my favorite of his. But then when I started, when I started doing my own plays and writing and stuff, that gave me a newfound respect for him, because when I started doing my stuff, started paying attention to him more. And and then when he opened up his studio in Atlanta and stuff, it's just like, all right, maybe all these years I've been hard on him for no goddamn reason.
And he's another one I ride for Tyler, because I'm like, that he opens doors for Black people. His stuff might be corny, might be lame, but he opens a lot of doors for Black people, and he keeps it open. So it's like, I don't get hating. I don't get why we as a culture hate on our own, just when they get up there and they're reaching back. Like, we don't hate on the ones that don't reach back. People like Michael just started reaching back. He just started doing something, but wouldn't nobody say anything about him? But LeBron was making schools. LeBron was doing all this kind of stuff, and people
talk about it.
much to, say about this man. I'm like, why y'all get mad at the people that's trying to do something?
But you know
Treat
why?
his queen nice, always speaking highly of
Oh,
her,
oh,
making sure them
oh.
babies taken care of, being an exemplary
I don't advocate
father.
for
Let's
this.
talk about it.
But you know why they hate on somebody like a LeBron, Tyler Perry. And like I said, I'm not Oprah's biggest fan, but I appreciate what she does. And I'm just
Right.
honest. But like for somebody like LeBron, I think why he gets the amount of hate and things that he gets is because his dumbass peers won't see him. They instead of them, and it's just like the kids today, and I can't just say kids, just us today, period. They see him doing all of this. Oh, why the fuck I gotta follow him? Why I gotta listen to him? I got them at stay, like we said earlier, stay in your fucking lane. Your lane is this. If you the bus driver, be the best goddamn bus driver.
Mhm.
You can't be the mechanic. You're the bus driver. And that's what I said. LeBron is doing this instead of everybody saying, okay, let him lead, kind of like what you said about Oprah. She got out there, she did what she had to do. Now they need to follow suit. No, then you got, as I don't know who's gonna feel the way about this, but then you got idiots, no, I'm not gonna say that. You got people like Monique that want to come out and bash Oprah, want to bash Tyler because she feel however she feels. I don't know the whole ins and out.
I don't know.
I will say this. I will
Sit up
say
for that one. I'm gonna tell you her fucking problem.
go.
This is what's wrong with our goddamn culture.
I like Monique
Stop
though.
thinking
I mean,
that
yeah,
you're
I'm always
better
gonna love
than
her.
what you are. Stop thinking that you're better than what you are.
Right.
That's Monique's problem.
Hey,
Monique
She's
did
a,
that?
she's
No,
a
wait,
great
wait a minute,
actress.
wait a
She's
minute.
great at
She's
what
a
she
queen.
does, but when you start trying to compare yourself to
whoop-
certain things and feel like you should do certain shit, it's like, yo, be
Just
realistic. Be
Yeah,
realistic.
there you go.
That's all I'm saying. Be realistic.
Monique?
Yes, she did that.
I don't know everything that happened.
I'll say it.
I
because
couldn't get on her bandwagon when she was trying to say, boycott whomever them people, Netflix
That's-
or whatever,
that's-
because
that's
I
it
can't
is
what-
boycott
whatever.
Netflix.
she was.
And I'm like,
full of shit.
ma'am, you comparing yourself to people that just sold out millions elsewhere, and then they got
Dang, you
this
know
deal.
what? And it's
Again,
so
stop
so
thinking
good
that
to
you're
hear a
better
woman
than
say
what
that.
Oh, you know what? It
are.
was. I would think it started with the guy who made what was the show that came out?
It was Dave Chappelle.
Empire.
It started with Dave Chappelle.
Yeah,
Oh,
Lee
it started with Dave
Daniels,
Chappelle.
And then Marlon Wayne's got a deal.
Lee Daniels
Then
too.
Tiffany got a deal. Then Kevin Hart got a deal.
But these
I
are
think
all
Chris
hot
Rock-
people at the time, like they were
Yeah.
doing $1 million deals elsewhere.
I'm
Yeah,
like
like they were
I'm
selling
not
out
clicking.
stadiums.
I'm not clicking
Right.
on no Monique.
I was like,
stand-up.
your
No.
argument is irrelevant in this at this
Mhm.
point. Like, what are you talking about?
She don't
What
know.
have you done recently? Like they done recently that warranted that money
And
that they got.
that's a
took
part
time off.
where a lot of people fail to realize, because my wife got on me and say, "Oh, you bashing Monique," and I'm like, I'm not bashing her, but I'm like, numbers and numbers, facts are facts. She compares, she talking about, well, why can't I make what Dave Chappelle does? Have you ever done what Dave Chappelle disappeared for
Absolutely
what,
not.
10 years or whatever?
Mhm.
Came back and
to
did
be.
made amazing numbers. Okay, you didn't do that. You were working that whole time. He was on hiatus and you still couldn't catch up. So why would me being Netflix or Hulu or whoever, why would I then turn around and give you $1 million deal when you're not going to bring the same attention that and I'm not a big Chris Rock fan, but you're not going to bring the same audience and attention that Chris Rock.
White people love that boy.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah,
what it
they
is.
do.
White people.
They
She's
do.
not
White
for
people
it.
love Chris Rock.
I honestly, I'm sorry. I feel like she made Black women look, because she tried to say it's specifically Black women because they had two. She used two. It was David and some other Black man that she was like, who they just sold millions to. And then what's that white lady named Amy, whatever her name is. She's not funny to me.
Poiler? Is it Poiler or something?
No,
it was
Amy
a
Schumer.
weird lady.
Oh,
She's not-
Shimmer. Yeah.
And Amy
Yeah.
Schumer is not funny. I
Not
agree with her
funny to me,
argument
but
there, but
It ain't about me. She
Huh?
was selling out stadium. Like she didn't
Exactly.
do a big number. So I'm
I
like,
think she's
you
funny.
didn't do what they did.
She's movie funny. She's not probably
Yeah,
stand up.
yeah, I
Some
do.
people gotta stay in their lanes. Like,
I mean,
I think she's funny in movies. This is when I play the baby mother, right?
huh?
I
You
can't.
saying
I'm
baby
not-
mother?
Oh, no, that's
Sorry,
not Amy Poehler. You think of Amy
Okay, so
Poehler.
I'm talking about the wrong
No,
person.
yeah,
Okay.
no.
Yeah.
Amy Schumer, I think, is who she had the problem with because Netflix gave her whatever the money
Oh,
was.
I know who you're talking
She's
They
about.
gave
That
her-
girl.
They gave,
I
yeah,
mean,
they gave her a
playing.
ridiculous amount of money.
but
And Monique
But
was
she
like,
had
"Well,
just
I'm
did
funnier
a
than
big
her."
move somewhere else.
a lot of people are funnier than Monique, but they don't have the opportunities that Monique has.
So,
So
all right,
Exactly.
it's
so
not
let's
about
ask this
talent all the
question.
time.
Here's the question though. Like seriously, what's the last thing y'all remember Monique from?
Exactly.
Movie
I don't.
comedy.
What comedy?
The Parkers that she should have.
Yeah, the Parkers.
But see, look,
Yeah,
so
she
she got known for the Parkers, but people forget
Precious,
she played in Precious.
Yeah, Precious.
Oh yeah.
And honestly, y'all, I just know. I know she was in it.
Yeah,
I blanked that whole movie out.
it's one of those things
Ain't that
like I
Tyler Perry?
don't think she ever did a movie with him.
No,
I think she
it might be
dissed
Lee
him at one
Daniels.
point, and he was like, he not gonna fucking help her.
Who?
I think she dissed Tyler at one point.
She
did.
did. She
She
did.
did, man.
Oprah
And then it's
Tyler
like-
Perry.
in Oprah.
Then Marlon Wayans did an interview on the Breakfast Club and explained that instead of you coming for Dave Chappelle, why didn't you call him and ask him how did he get the deal done? That's
Right.
what Marlon said he did. He was like, when I seen it, I called Dave Chappelle up like, yo, what did you go in here and do to get these numbers? Like, people don't understand. Marlon Wayans is extremely talented.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The kid done got at
Whole
least
family.
5 or 6 different shows and movies out.
they are.
And it's him producing it.
Mhm.
So it's like, it's one of those things like, I don't know. I just think it's weird.
But
The
he knows
best
funny.
example, I don't get it. But aside that, you have a guy like, I don't know if y'all know much about Adam Sandler outside of what he does.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
90% of his movies he produced are his fucking friends,
Yep.
whether they suck or not.
He put them to work.
You can tell in the movies. It's that one guy that's in all his movies.
They
I
are.
can't
It's
think of his
David
name.
Spade,
David
Chris
Rob.
Rock,
David
the
Spade,
little
Rob
skinny little
Schneider.
boy.
Yeah, him.
Rob
He was in
Schneider.
every single. I mean, he had a role, and that's what I'm saying. Like, but no, I mean, we do that too. Sometimes I feel like, what's the guy? Brought Jim Carrey on. Jim Carrey is
Oh,
funniest to
Keenan.
me.
One of them brothers, one of the Keenan or fucking,
Keenan
I forgot
is
his
the
name.
one that got everybody on. He started all.
Right.
Right, it's Keenan, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
He was
Keenan
doing all that
was
producing
originator.
and writing, and he was creating a lot of. He was doing that big
He
time.
brought out a lot
Living
of people,
single,
but
I was
again, they don't even give that man his props. I feel like he opened the doors for a lot of people.
they
But-
give him his props.
But that's because they don't know. Because
Who don't know?
Nah, I feel like he should get more than what he get.
I'm not
No.
saying you don't know, Eric. I'm just saying the other
No,
people
we're
don't
saying
know.
outside of us. We know.
Outside of us.
Oh, okay.
Because I mean, because you got to
Jim Carrey always
think about it.
mentions it.
You got to go back to like Hollywood Shuffles. You know, he brought up what Robert Townsend. He put
David
up,
Allen Greer.
John Witherspoon, I think, was in that too. I mean, it's so many people that Keenan Ivory Wayans put on.
Jennifer Lopez.
Jamie Foxx.
Well,
Isn't that more of a Diddy thing?
if we just talking dancing, then yeah, he put
I
on.
don't
If we
know.
talking
She
her
was on
singing
that
his acting
stage.
career, no,
But
thank
that
you.
was her platform.
Yeah, that-
It still count. It still count, Rico. She was on the
But she
platform.
killed everything when she got a chance, though.
and she took advantage of her opportunity.
Yeah, that Selena movie was the one.
That was her best, and that was her
Yeah.
best movie ever.
They crucified that lady, man. I think she did good.
She did a.
No, she
she-
did
I
great
thought
in
she
that
was
movie.
Selena. What you?
Better than what the fuck they produced this last time. I don't know
Better
what the hell that was about.
It was
Like
getting a
that.
dee
I
dee
like
bum
her.
bum. So
No, but I don't even see. I was supposed to be keeping track of how long we've been out here. See, this is what happens, and that's why I like the freestyle format. But
We're in 15.
okay, cool. All right, so we got a good 5 minutes.
But I feel like even in movies, I feel like Tyler Perry, even though he has his issues, he's the only one that puts all black casts.
Mhm.
Like Netflix is trying to do it, but I think they get so much backlash. They always have to have interracial couples. Always.
But they're
You know,
they're playing to the masses. That's what they're doing. That's what all shows are doing.
Hey, I'm gonna give you what you want, but I'm not gonna fuck my money.
Which
Yeah,
is
yeah,
cool, but
exactly.
you can't. I mean, two white people in a relationship is no big deal. Yeah, a
But-
Mexican movie, all Mexicans. Like,
But you gotta-
that's
okay.
what they do, and that's what they do with everything now. Like every show has a
but
has-
not Tyler Perry.
No. I'm just saying, but like
Nah,
Netflix
Tyler
and
be
stuff.
straight all black.
And that's
Even
what
the
I'm
sweeper
saying.
black.
he might have gave us Medea, and that was not okay. But as far as him putting an all black, because I mean, I didn't even know who the two people was. What's the couple name who singers? I forgot the name already.
Who, the Browns?
Tamara,
The Browns.
no, Mr. Brown. Yep.
Oh,
I didn't
Tamala,
even know who they was before him.
you didn't know
I never heard of them before.
Nah, I ain't know nothing about them till
I didn't.
30 Minutes
And then I
show.
saw they sing. I'm just like, oh wow, they sing too. This is amazing.
Y'all didn't know them from the family? They was the family.
I say I never seen that.
Now before Tyler
No,
Perry.
it's not a scene. It's a group from Kirk Franklin when he when he first started.
I just know Kirk. I don't know who's in that
that's all
chorus
my
of that
rings,
choir.
Donnie.
Huh?
I just see
That's all my
Kirk, just like I
rings.
just see Diddy. I don't be seeing the backup people. I don't know.
Outside for Kirk Franklin.
Y'all know like silver and gold and
She said outside of Diddy, I don't see the background.
I just don't. I just see Kirk.
Y'all know the
Yo,
lamb? Y'all know the lamb?
I don't know nobody.
Erica.
I don't even know who
I'm like
BB and
you.
CC Wine is. I never seen them before. I heard them, but I don't know who they are.
I never seen the other now I think
I don't
about
know
it.
these people.
About to pass out.
yeah.
I need to Google some people I see when I get off.
Yeah, exactly. You know, let me take my notes so I know who I gotta look up when we get off
BB
here.
and CC Wine. Y'all know BB and CC?
I know
the
them, but I ain't never seen them
honestly,
before.
I know the name. Weren't they on that episode, the Christmas episode of Martin?
When they on that episode, they some gospel artists, like they like the
I don't listen. If you want me to be honest, outside of what's it, Yolanda Adams,
Oh
Yeah,
my! Oh,
everybody knows
it's
thank
not,
Yolanda.
God
it's not
you
a
said
whole
I
lot of
love
gospel
her.
artists that I could
Oh,
name
my
when I
Lord.
see them.
Ooh, I love Yolanda Adams.
y'all need. I'll make y'all a gospel list. Gospel.
Hey
playlist.
man,
Y'all need to have a
I'm
battle cast gospel
I'm
edition.
exiting stage left.
What?
Stop
Y'all don't like?
playing.
You don't even like gospel?
I
music?
like gospel.
No, I listen to it every now and then. I know who you're talking about, but I didn't know they were part of the family. Like I know
Ooh,
all them other
we brought up
movies.
religion, right? So do y'all think they driving out religion right now with the
They
COVID
are,
pandemic?
and I'm against it, and I'm fighting against it.
You said they doing what?
Do you think they're driving out the religion?
Drag.
With driving away the religion.
Like they're trying to get rid of it.
Somebody
Dude,
just did a verse
you shouldn't
named
get
Jay-Z.
rid of
They
it.
killed
Okay.
Christ and brought up religion.
That's a
Hey
whole nother
man,
conversation. I don't want no trouble. I just want
Hey.
I'm sorry, I get
my Lord.
uncomfortable.
Hey, don't worry.
No, you
give me a Ringo till about June. We got something.
I got
We
you.
gonna find something for y'all
Okay.
on that. And I
Yeah.
promise you, we
All
gonna bring
y'all,
that shit up.
all y'all are antichrist.
I'm not
No,
anti.
No.
I'm just
I would say
anti
this, no.
bullshit.
I pray every morning. I
Amen.
listen to some gospel. I'm not, but like I said, if you were to, you know, what's that game show that Jamie Foxx does? If you were to put me on that, name that tune or whatever,
Oh,
I would cash out
Yeah, I'm out of there.
with a penny. I couldn't name nothing. It's not a whole lot outside of Yolanda Adams and Kirk
Yeah.
Franklin. The reason why I sing, I tap out.
oh yeah. Oh,
Those
what's the
that-
God? Oh, I like gospel music.
No,
It's
I like
cool.
it, but I couldn't name. What's the Lifetime? They just did a Lifetime movie or something about was it the Clark sisters or whatever?
Yes.
Yeah, and my wife took me. You don't know
Donnie,
who
all
they are?"
excited.
No,
See, but I don't know any of their songs. You gotta sing it. I'm like, oh,
Every
that's
time
them.
y'all say something, I want to start singing. Like, what are y'all talking?
Yeah, I know, you know, I know a couple names, but I don't like. Do I listen to it? No, not too often.
Y'all are like breaking my heart.
Well, I'm
again.
curious for that episode.
Give me a week, Donnie. Give me a week. I
Wait,
got you.
what? Y'all like
I'm gonna go make a playlist. I'm gonna get back to you. I'm saying, give me a week. I'm going.
you gonna make a playlist of songs you don't know?
Right.
I know somebody gonna learn them. What the fuck? I have to listen to them to know them.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, Google
Oh,
help.
Okay.
But you know, so I don't make this
Hey
episode
Siri.
too
Nah,
long.
let me stop.
You got to plug Alexa back up and talk to her.
Yeah.
But so I
Hey
don't make
Siri,
this
give me the top
episode-
10
I
gospel.
do want to know what made you ask that question though.
Huh?
I want to know what made her ask that question. Mala.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Well, I'm curious. I like talking about religion. You know, again, I told you I'm probably the youngest out of the group, and the what I'm beginning to see in my generation is that people don't believe necessarily in it. They believe there's a higher power. And I'm not speaking for everybody, but everybody is kind of like on their own little hiatus with the jewels and the crystals and all this other stuff going on. So I'm curious. Like I like to hear from older generations. Like
I'm gonna act like Erica and do what Erica said. I'm not trying to get myself in trouble,
right.
but there's
Right.
so much I want to say about it. But I will say this. I think a lot of it when it comes to religion, and this wasn't part of the thing, but whatever. We tap into it. Um, but I think a lot of why religion, especially for your generation, is a little different now is because people they don't know, and then even the people that are doing, that are supposed to be the leaders of the community or the church or whatever, they out here doing regular people shit. And that's not, and that, what I mean? If you look at, was it pastors or reverends of LA or whatever that show is, it's like, okay, I don't
That's why
want
you're not
to
supposed to be watching people. Like, it's
no, but that's what I'm saying. But when you got pastors, you got, you know what, and forgive me for saying this, but I know Dell or somebody, I ain't gonna know what I'm talking about. You got the pastor that was, and like I said, what you do in your home is your business, but you got the pastor that was eating
Making sex tapes.
Yeah, with the sex tape and stuff. And that's what I'm saying. It's just, you got people that are looking at it like, all right, if I'm supposed to be looking at this person for, for guidance and all this other stuff, and he's doing what I'm doing, it turns some people off.
That's why I said
I think the big. Oops, sorry.
People. But okay, I mean, I get where y'all.
I think the biggest thing you have to understand. I'm not religious, right? But when you put a God complex on a person, and you expect more than them than you expect from yourself, I think that also, because if a pastor has infidelity or something,
right.
he himself is still of the flesh. You know what I mean? So he may slip up either. So I don't watch people either, because I mean, it's a lot of religion.
But I think if you watch people, like I said, you put this person on a pedestal, just like people do with celebrities, the Kardashians, whoever. You put them on a pedestal, and then when they fall, you're heartbroken. That's your fucking fault. That's not their fault.
Absolutely. I'm sorry. That's what you were saying. Yep.
That's 100% your fault for putting that person on a pedestal, and then looking, you got this glow in your eyes and all this other shit. That's 100% your fault for putting that person on that pedestal.
That part. Just because he's a pastor doesn't make him perfect.
He's human.
Take what you get from it. Go on about your goddamn business. I've always been like that. If I want to go listen to the word, I'm gonna take for whatever he put out there that service. I'm gonna adapt it to what I feel like it is. It either apply or let it fly. Mind you, goddamn, I don't got whatever the. Hey man, I tell people all the time, y'all be worried about the pastor, the deacon, the worst one.
Yeah.
Oh no, everybody know that. People know that.
Everybody know that. Not since I'm up 10. Yep.
Saying what I said. Tune in June. It's coming. I don't do shit.
We got something for y'all.
Ringo, you ready?
I'm ready. We got something for y'all.
But yeah, you know, when you come on our show, we talking about religion, right?
I'm cool. That's whatever. Donnie, I don't back away from nothing. I don't. I've never.
I mean, no, actually, I feel like it might be more interesting now that I know how you.
Let's get it, and you're gonna shock you too. So understand. Go for it.
Hey, all right. Well, I'm gonna wrap it up. We can stay on afterwards and keep the conversation going. But like I said, it's gonna be a pretty good long episode. Not pretty good. So we start
with a prayer. No, please.
You ain't right.
But Donnie, I'll start with you. Let the people know how and where they could find you, and when your episodes drop and stuff.
All right, so right now they're not dropping, but we, like I said, we are on a hiatus. However, you can catch me on the Diamond Lounge podcast, all of that, the Diamond Lounge podcast on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and all of your podcast listening platforms, Apple, Spotify, the other ones, I think, but mainly Apple and Spotify. Like I said, we're currently on a hiatus. We will be coming back. Like I was saying, Dell is actually my first guest that I will be recording with on the 15th. So yeah, you are. So
the 15th of this month, mate.
Yes.
You better be nice to me. That's 2 days before my birthday, so I'll make sure I make it.
What? Look, okay, look.
Are we gonna be in the studio?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I'm there. I got you.
So that's when we will start back dropping at that time. Check us out. Follow our pages, especially YouTube, so that you can be informed when we do get back on and dropping.
All right, Erica.
Yeah, so my podcast, Erica with a C, and don't you forget about it. Just streaming everywhere. It's every other Wednesday. Just various topics. Dropped the episode last week, so I'll drop one next week. I'm mostly on Instagram. I made tweet. I don't really like Twitter. So it's Erica with the C podcast on Instagram. And yeah, that's it. It's always gonna be blunt, but it's gonna be beautiful.
Milan.
You can follow me on Instagram at the Black Book Podcast _ or on Spotify. We just started airing again like last weekend, so stuff be starting to ramp up in the next week or so.
All right, Dale.
Oh man, you can catch me everywhere. Just get on Instagram. I am there.
Yeah, because we
I'm
coming up,
active,
right?
man. Nah, serious tip. Man Cave. I'm assuming at some point I'll get back active. I kind of like took a break because I wanted to change some things up, and there was some other stuff that I was working on that is all in fruition now. So I'm happy. But yeah, you can catch me. It's now each and every Thursday coming up soon for Man Cave, and then it's Talking Up with Delphi on Tuesdays. You can catch a new episode of Bet the House every Wednesday. You got the musical channel that we do on YouTube Live each and every Monday. What am I missing? And then we got a new podcast coming out in June with two of my newfound close brothers. And I won't promote that yet, but I'm about to change the game again.
So I'll say, if you're watching this, you already know you can find me on IG. We Need to Talk 23pod. Got a Gmail if you want to get in contact with me. We Need to Talk 23pod at gmail.com. Yeah, episode drop every Wednesday. Shit, I don't know what else, but
Take a shot, brother. What you drinking back there?
Huh?
What's
What
the
am I
drink back
drinking?
there? Take a shot.
I'm drinking some Tambu.
Okay.
But
I
that
got
looks
That
dangerous.
Japanese whiskey.
That looks dangerous.
Sir,
All right, that's right.
some Tambu. I don't know. And oh yeah, you know what? I'll put this in here.
Oh, look at that.
And shout out to Kendra. Her cup finally came. But yeah, thank you all for coming on. I know some of you all first time recording with me. I do appreciate you all, Erica and Donnie for coming on and doing this with me and being engaging. And like I said, I only invite people on to have good energy with, not that I dislike anybody or anything, but I rock with the people that get good energy from. Like I said, I was on your show, Erica, and Donnie, just seeing you on IG, going at Dell and all this other stuff.
Wait a minute, why you always gotta say that? I don't like that image y'all putting out of me.
I mean, but you know what? It's
Hey,
good
that man
energy.
said what he said.
Del Dre.
Nope.
All right, I'm stopping.
Said the whole name.
But it's good energy. And I'm glad you all came on. And like I said, thank you all for taking your time out. And like I said, we went over the time or whatever, but I told y'all in the beginning that it was possible that it could happen. This episode will be out next week. Yeah, next Wednesday. So thank you all. We Need to Talk 23 signing off. Yeah.